think we might be live. Let me just see if I can double check anything. Oh, we are live, Carol! Oh my gosh. Okay. Yay. That's very, very exciting. All right, everybody. Welcome. I am so excited and honored and just happy to be here tonight as the host of this incredible conversation. Our topic is called Choreograph Your Life. And I'm so excited that it says live and the button is red and it's clicking and I saw Carol's name pop up. Whether you are joining from LinkedIn, which was our original space that we were going to go live, or any of the other 6 platforms that we are streaming on, we are on 7 different spaces right now, which is that's the most spaces I've ever been at one time. That's mind-boggling for me. I would love for you to, hello everybody. Oh my gosh, this is so fun. So I'd love for you to go ahead and put where you guys are at, because this is also part of this, is that the conversation that we're having tonight and the incredible women that I have joining me live, we are all in different countries. So just the 3 of us are, and I would love for you guys to put where you're coming from, Los Angeles area, put where you're coming from, because it's the conversation's global, and the awareness of this topic, it hits us all in our own unique, beautiful way. So congratulations for all of us to make time for ourselves. And thank you for everybody who is here watching, and to my incredible co-hosts here with me. So, or panel ladies, whatever we want to call us, my friends, my colleagues. So before I invite them up, I want to invite everybody to the clear intention of this call. I want to invite women to pause, to reflect, and to reclaim the rhythm of your own life. So I'll say that again: pause, reflect, and reclaim the rhythm of your own life. So we have 30 minutes tonight, you guys, and 30 minutes is not enough to go to the entirety of this topic. It is a deep one that gets more and more beautiful the further we go down. Hello from Texas, Sarah. And what I want to do is just let you guys know this topic is going to be continued next Tuesday. I am hosting a beautiful, fun 3-hour masterclass to dive deeper. But tonight I have some very special guests, and I would love to introduce Nicole Cowley as my first guest for this. And so Nicole, I am so excited to introduce you. You have no idea. I've been waiting for this all day. Nicole is a powerhouse of calm, clarity, and emotional freedom. I met Nicole a year ago and immediately fell in love with her smile, her energy on the screen. I got lucky enough to be in a little space with just Nicole where we were doing some sharing, and she just leaned in and listened, and you could feel her heart, and she cares so deeply. She's the founder of Next Step with Nicole Renee, where she helps high achieving women reconnect and reflect, I'm sure, with who they truly are. And one of the things that I love so much about Nicole is she is an incredible mother, and she has rebuilt her life from the inside out. She is a woman who has walked a path that so many people have to walk, and she has done it and now holds a lantern for others. And so, Nicole, thank you. It's an honor, truly, to have you, and for you to say yes to this panel. It means the world to me. And I also, you're very welcome. And Nicole, if you want to tell everybody where you're coming in from, so that we bring the globalness here.
Yes, I'm coming in from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. So Canadian in the house.
I love it. So I'm in Raleigh, North Carolina, everybody. We got Canadian. And now can we please bring up our next guest, which is Jacqui Wilkinson. And Jacqui is our next panelist. Yay! So excited. Jacqui is another powerhouse. You guys are going to hear me say these words a lot tonight. And she is a decorated Royal Air Force wing commander and the author of a book that I know for a fact changes lives, because I just listen tonight and you're going to be like, holy crap. The author of Turning the Tables on Trauma. And Jacqui has turned her story, which many would just roll over with and just not even think there was possibility in becoming on the other side of it. And she has turned her story of overcoming 9 ACEs, which is adverse childhood experiences. If you're unaware of what that is, I didn't know until I had met you, Jacqui, what that was. To a global mission of hope, leadership, and trauma awareness. her voice and Nicole's voice, they both are fierce and they're both calm, confident. And so these are topics we're going to talk about tonight. And I just want to have you guys just be a part of this conversation with us as much as you can. Stay in the chat and let us, again, know where you're coming from if you're just joining in. And please, at this moment, before I start asking this first question, if there's anybody that you're like, okay, I think so-and-so might need to hear this based on the two people I just introduced, please go share this right now. Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, wherever you are, share it, tag people, because this is going to be powerful. Here we go. I'm so excited. Okay. My first question, and this will go to both of you. I guess I'll ask you first, Nicole, since I introduced you first. The topic tonight, the title is Choreograph Your Life. What does that mean to you right now in this season?
Well, first of all, Ashley, thank you for having us here. I'm so excited to be here with you. This is just pure joy to me. So thank you. And so choreographing my life, I love it because I'm a dancer. So when we talk about this, choreography to me is like creating beauty and a story, and it's creating all of the emotions that you want people to feel. And so when I think about my life right now and what I'm really wanting to create, it is coming from deeper intention than it's ever been. So I'm really sitting in, how do I want my time with my children to feel? How do I want to feel in my business? How do I want to show up as a daughter, as a friend? I keep thinking about all of these things. So my intention is getting higher. I think that's what's really happening in my life right now, is that I'm getting just so clear, and my vision is getting clearer. And, I really think right now, life is so precious, like the amount of hours we have. And so I want to make the most of it with the people that are in my life and see what is possible. I don't take that for granted, that I wake up every day. I don't take that for granted. And so I really want to choreograph a life that respects that. So that is where I'm at right now.
Oh, okay. So I didn't say this to everybody, and I want to make sure that they know Jacqui grew up dancing. And so, of course, we have that in common. Sorry, Jacqui. Nicole grew up dancing. So, of course, we have that in common. Jacqui, you never danced, did you?
No, I didn't dance, but I always did sport. So it's choreographed there, right?
Well, and you move. I mean, you have a discipline. We're going to get into that. You are, this is a big thing. And I met you through a video that Debbie Prediger, which is, thank goodness, part of the production crew that's making this happen right now, sent me a video of you dancing in the kitchen with your kids a while ago, months ago. Didn't even know you then. And I was like, oh, I love this woman. This is my vibe. And I'm like, that's Nicole's vibe too. Dancing in the kitchen with our kids. Like, this is part of what we all do. So there is a very common denominator there. And Nicole, I loved when you just said the beauty and the story. And I'm going to come back to that because that's a huge part of this. Jacqui, what does choreographing your life mean to you right now in this season?
So firstly, thank you so much for inviting me on this. And, those are words of wisdom, Nicole, like what you just said. Wow, that is just, I cannot wait for you to dive into that a little bit more. But for me, I love dancing. I'm not a professional dancer, but I was a dancer because it just brings so much joy and happiness to your life. And I think choreograph for me, the season now, it's about living to my true core values. I didn't really understand what that was once upon a time, but now I know what my top 3 values are. It's my health and fitness, and that includes dancing and living and choreographing and moving, but also the connection in my love relationships and my friendships, that connection, deep bonding, truly understanding other people, and the connection that you have is just phenomenal. But also personal growth and development, just understanding myself so much that I can actually reach my next higher potential. Because once you uncover and unlock that is just power. And I have a story where I just had this mask of uniform and this mask of strength, and I never really fully lived by my values or my core values, which actually meant I was hiding my true self. So that alignment for me is now so important and so pivotal, and it really aligns with what Nicole was saying. It just helps you just to live the life that you truly deserve and that you truly want. So yeah.
You guys, so good. I didn't even need to prep conversation questions because yes. So I want to share something that you guys have both said it, and I want to share it from a quick perspective of my own here really quick, because choreographing for me, I still do this. I'm a dance teacher. I choreographed just this morning, twice, for 2 different lessons, 2 private lessons. And for me, there's so much to take in with choreographing. I need to know who I'm choreographing for. So that right there goes into the story. How do I want to feel, Nicole, when I'm with my kids? How do I want my kids to feel? And it goes back to the to the mask and the uniform as well. You know, like, who is doing this performance? Who is it? And what do they look like? What do we want them to feel? But it's your reality is shaped by these parts that choreograph your every single day, right? That what you're living is part of what you are intentionally making happen. So your intentions, Nicole, and gosh, it's so good. Your core values, Jacqui, you guys lean into this, because it looks different for all of us, but yet it's still the same process, right? And so I'm using the word choreograph because I'm a dancer, but it can be the same thing. It's just planning or designing a life that you want, creating a life that you want. Use whatever word. I love it. Okay. Each of us, and specifically talking to the 2 of you, has faced massive turning points in your life. Very different, but massive turning points. And everybody watching has faced something. If you've been alive longer than 10 years, you've experienced something in your life, right? If you're 10 years old, you're like, oh my gosh, it's the world's worst thing that somebody has my whatever, you know? So can you share one moment where you had to rewrite your choreography, where things fell apart or shifted and you had to choose to move forward differently? A lot of people will say we have to pivot. What did one moment where you were like, yeah, this isn't it anymore. I have to change. And Jacqui, I'll let you go first on this one.
Yeah, brilliant question and really powerful for me. So 9 years ago, I had a breakdown. My father passed away and I was dealing with a lot of unresolved trauma from the child abuse that he inflicted upon me for many years. And I literally broke down. As a senior officer, I couldn't function. I could not make decisions and I fell apart. And I was like, how is this happening to me? And I realized that I'd been in survival mode. I was professionally very successful, promoting after promotion after promotion. And I was literally living the victor's mindset of strength. Like, in front, you can see all you can see is strength, but privately really struggling and unwinding. And I found that this breakdown became my breakthrough. And the reason why is because I actually went and did some research on myself, and I understood what the root cause analysis of my trauma was. And when I identified what that actually was, and I put it into a master's dissertation, which then went into my book, I uncovered what I needed to change in my present and not be held on to the challenges of my past. And I rewrote the narrative of my life, going, actually, that's given me strength that I didn't realize I had, and that will power me through. So actually, there is always gratitude and gratefulness for things that you go through. When you gain that and you understand, like, that gratitude will actually fire you into the more power and potential in your life. That's what I really learned. So that was a huge mindset shift for me. And I built so much shame resilience by owning my story, by talking about it. And now the scars that I have, they've been turned into strength, really. And I want to just share that this is how you empower yourself. And that's how you can shift from something so dark, from something so where you feel like, I can't go on, I'm broken, to actually post-traumatic growth, I call it. You actually grow from this and then you fire into the next level. So yeah, that's what it happened to me.
Oh my gosh. Sometimes it's the worst thing in the world that ends up being the biggest blessing. And, a death is never something where we're like, yay, that's over with. But in that same moment, it allows you to process things that you didn't even know you weren't processing. Yeah. My stepdad died a year ago, and I had things that I didn't even know I was holding on to until after I was like, okay, we're done. And then I was like, oh, wait, we're done. I didn't know we weren't done. I thought we were done. I thought I had mindset. I thought I was done. And then you're like, oh, now I really can be done. And, Jacqui, your story is incredible. The resilience that you have. You shared 2 words whenever I invited you and Nicole to do this. You shared words, and I'll never forget them because they were so good. And you're like, I'm honored to be on a panel with the 2 of you ladies, the grit and the grace. And I was like, the grit and the grace. Like, those are the 2 words that yes, Jacqui, yes. And, that story that you just shared is very personal. So just thank you for that. And I love the the breakdown becomes your breakthrough. I saw Sarah Ross, you commented that too. That's powerful. Remember, guys, it's always happening for us. I love that. Nicole, would you like to share a massive turning point in your life where you had to rewrite your choreography?
Yeah, thank you. And Jacqui, I just want to say that post-traumatic growth, it's so important. And when you worded it that way, it's so true. And I see that in you, your leadership and who you are. So thank you. So about 10 years ago, I was a stay-at-home mom, and, I had been home with my children for a long time. And that was really my identity and my role. And basically overnight, my marriage ended. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? And talking about choreographing a new life, I kind of looked at it being like, I don't know what I'm going to do anymore. I didn't have a job, didn't have an income. I had two little ones who were approximately about age 5 and 2 or 3 at the time. And they really, really needed me. And I had to really start thinking about what was possible. And during that time, I will tell you, I didn't think very much was possible for quite some time until I had a community of people come in and start to tell me different. And I remember, when I started to involve myself in communities and I started to get a little bit of success in being on my own, everything started to change. And once I had a little bit of success, I started to dream. And that was something that was completely gone for so long. But what I really didn't think was that I could really do this on my own. And I think that was probably one of the biggest things, is that I didn't think it was possible to do the things that I wanted to do on my own. I also had a lot of fears or feelings of failure. And that this wasn't the life I had choreographed. This wasn't what I thought. This wasn't what it was going to be. But now I had to all of a sudden pivot, and I had to change, and I had to improv. If you're coming back to dance things, I had to kind of make it up as I went along, because I didn't know what it was going to look like. But what I do believe, and the same as what Jacqui was saying, is that all along I was wanting to do things like this and step into my life in a new way where I didn't think it was even possible before, until I hit a place that I didn't have a choice anymore. And so then I stepped in, and my breakdown did become my breakthrough as well.
Okay, I'm just listening to this, and I'm filled with an extreme amount of gratitude, and just an extreme amount of gratitude for both of you guys, because your story as well, Nicole, I can feel some pull in there. So just this morning, you used the word improv, so I want to share this. Just this morning in my tap and tone class, in my TapFitFam world, I teach online, and we were talking. There was a gentleman who was saying he wanted to improv on Sunday because it was National Tap Dance Day, and he was like, "But improving is so hard, I don't know what to do, and I lose track of what to do." And when you said I had to improv, how many of us, especially as women, go, I don't know what I'm doing, I have no idea, but I don't have a choice, so I just keep moving. I think that that's a strong woman trait, that it's like, I don't think somebody, how have you done all this? Oh my gosh, it's amazing, your story. You're like, I have no idea how I've done it. I've just done it. I just keep taking, the next best step. And when you said, Nicole, you said community. I really think that that's something that I have to go back to. And that's the beauty of even on the screen with you two right here, is I've met you guys through communities. Jacqui, I don't even think I gave you a moment to say it in the beginning, but you're in Italy right now, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're in Italy. Like, the odds of me meeting you, if it wasn't for an incredible community of like-minded people online. And actually, again, Debbie Prediger, look at that little sprinkling us all together, Debbie. Thank you. Is it's powerful, and communities are where change happens, because you start to hear things differently, you see things differently. And Jacqui, I can only imagine that the military background that you have, and please correct me if I'm wrong, that community is strong. I can only imagine. And so that pulls you through that victor mindset, but then you get to choose, you get to pivot once you're ready. So the improv is like, you just do it. You just keep showing up before you know how, before you know if it's going to work. You just start in tiny little ways. Sometimes, it's, I need to take my health more serious. Okay. I drank another glass of water instead of a soda, little tiny things, but then that becomes success, and that success builds upon itself. And then you have this choreography that you're like, wow, I actually have been doing all these things. I just didn't give myself enough credit.
Yeah.
Gosh, there's so many things there's so many things in what you guys are sharing. 30 minutes is not enough. Okay. I have another question because we've talked about, you know, your point where you guys had to re-choreograph. In the dance world, there's many times where I will choreograph a routine and it's for a kid for competition. And I'm like, this kid, she has a mission. And I'll ask, where are you taking this solo? What style of dance? How long have you been dancing? What's your favorite color? So I know what kind of costume I want to put on her. What's your, you know, do you have a favorite artist? I ask my kids a lot of questions before I just give them a routine. And that's because I need to know them. I need to get to know them so that they can fully embody the dance, or else it's just me giving them something that they look like robots. So embodiment is getting through the overwhelm, getting through the feeling stuck, right? Embodying, like, I want to feel peace. I want to feel control. I want to feel like I can have fun again and dream. And you kind of mentioned that there at the end, Nicole. So I'll take this question to you first, is when someone is feeling stuck or overwhelmed, how do you personally get back into alignment? And I have a feeling we're all going to have kind of the same answer here. But how do you personally get back into alignment? Do you have any practices or mindset shifts, any tools you can share with the audience?
Sure. I think one of the things I need to do when I get into that place of stuck and overwhelmed is to slow down. I often think it's doing more, and I try harder and I keep going. And I realize every time I do that, it actually becomes more overwhelm and more stress. And I had an analogy in a book one time, an author, and I wish I had his name right now, but he talked about a glass of water with dirt in it. And if you want it to get clear again, do you keep stirring it and making it, you know, dissolve, or do you just let it settle and all the dirt goes to the bottom and you have this clear glass, right? And so lots of times I think it is just that settling and just allowing yourself to breathe again. The other thing that I really need to do when I'm in that place is move. I need to move my body. And so it sounds like doing, but it's not doing. I go out in nature and I run, or I walk, or I dance, or I do something that changes my state. And even I know my mom will be like, you just need to go out. You need to go for a run. You need to go do something. I'm like, you're right. I do. Because it changes me that fast. And so those two are huge. And then I think one thing that I've been using for years now is hypnosis. I use a hypnosis mindset track to really help me like actually bring in the thoughts that I need. So lots of times my thoughts are going the wrong direction. So I need a reminder, like a little coach in my ear saying, no, that isn't who you are. Let's get back to who you are. And so I will run those tracks sometimes 2 times a day if I need to, just to start to remember who I am, my mission, my vision, and what is possible. So those would be my top 3.
Oh, I love it. So I say power of the pause in my community. So power of the pause, move your body, and then you have your tracks. And so there's for some people that might be hypnosis or mantras or affirmations, but it's that focus of let's get back on track. Yeah. That's so good. That's so good. Jacqui, what do you do when you are needing to get back into alignment? What's your go-to?
So it's so similar to Nicole. As a certified hypnotherapist as well, I'm like, go that. Just the unconscious mind is such a powerful tool. When I was at my hardest, when I was at my most challenging point of overwhelm, I used what I call the aware framework. What do I mean by aware? So there's 5 different steps, and this is how I changed my behavior from overwhelm, from breakdown, from crying, from really struggling to, oh, I get it now. So the A is acknowledge. So this is the pause, that you just mentioned, Claire. Acknowledge what I feel. What am I feeling right now? And then the W is watch. So just watch my patterns with curiosity, without judgment. Okay, just watch what's going on, when it's going on, and perhaps why it's going on. And then the next A is assess. So you assess what's true and what's a belief, and what is fear saying. So just be assessing the moment in time. And then the R leads us to respond and not react in the moment, because we have that pause. and we're going, okay, this is why this is happening. So we get to respond. And the last E is evolve. And that allows us to evolve our mindset, change our behaviors, and become the person that we want to become. Because I was allowing behaviors to control me as opposed to the other way around. So the pause is absolutely crucial, but it just goes that little bit deeper with, oh, okay, what's going on, but without judgment. And this really just shifted everything 9 years ago, and it is such a powerful tool. And what Nicole was saying about movement, absolutely, movement is medicine. You have a bottle of medicine inside your body that you need to unlock, and you unlock it when you motion unlocks emotion. Okay, so if you've got this negative motion built up, you move, you unlock it, and then you empower yourself with the happy hormones that we know, the endorphins, dopamine, serotonin. We all know this, but we need to do it. And by dancing, by exercise, there's 3 decades of study, so 30 years of study in the mental health research study by John W. Briggs. It shows that movement is one of the most powerful things you can do to improve your mental fitness. That's scientific research, so it is absolutely go-to, and I firmly recommend it. And it might not be dance, or it could be dance, tap dance, everything that you can do to move your body, but just find your thing and do it. And that will empower you. So and tap dancing is absolutely amazing.
It's fun. Jacqui, I knew it. I knew we would have kind of similar answers. I couldn't wait to get to these questions because I knew it. I just knew it. So you have the AWARE framework. I have a dance framework, and a lot of the things overlap. So for me, D is decide. We got to get clear. A is aligned action. You have to take action. Again, movement, but also in the process. Notice is N, which is your aware. C is create, which is your assess, and that's where we're creating. And then my E is energy, and yours is evolve. It's so beautiful when we all have our own special way that connects with us. And so everybody watching, I want to just encourage you, when you're listening to talks like this with anybody, what's one thing, like just if you have one thing that Nicole has said that you're like, that brilliant, or one thing Jacqui has said, that brilliant, or it's like, you know what, I'm just going to choreograph it. I'm just going to make it up as I go. I'm going to improv for a bit, and then that's going to become my and I'm going to trust it. It's really important that you know that you have the power to choreograph your life. It's that belief first, and then it's deciding from there. Like, you know what, maybe I don't believe it 100%. Get yourself into communities, like Nicole said. Find people, connect with us, any one of us. Because it's if you don't believe it yet, borrow someone else's belief until you do, man, because it matters. And then decide. And Jacqui, you were just sharing this week on social media, I believe it might have been yesterday, choose the power of choice, choose it. And Nicole, you were also sharing that on social media this week. I was watching your guys' posts that you were sharing in your reels, and I was like, yes, we get to do this work, and it's beautiful work. It's fun. And when you do this work, you come more and more alive. And so last question, because we're going to run out of time, even though I have like 19 more things I could spin off on all of this, is speaking of belief, what's one belief you had to let go of in order to truly start stepping into your power? So maybe there might have been many, by the way. I think there probably always is, because they're layered and they're old beliefs that we adopt from childhood and society and blah, blah, blah. And, our own lack of confidence. But what's one belief that you're like, that one was a big one, I had to let go of that one? Jacqui, would you like to go first on that?
Yeah, so it's an interesting one, because I had so many limiting beliefs. So what is the one thing? But when I read this quote once, I was like, wow, that's deep. This is what I want to say. So we become who we are when we let go of who we are not. And when I heard that, I was just like, I've got to let go of the person that I thought I should be, the person this is my identity, this is what I should be, and actually start becoming who I actually am and finding myself within that. So it's the self with a capital S. When you find yourself, the self who you are, that is when all the limiting beliefs just go, because you align with your true authentic self. So that's one belief I've let go of.
That's amazing. Nicole, that's amazing.
Yeah, that was beautiful. So beautiful. There's so much identity work with this, right? And letting go is when I actually did a post years ago about letting go, and it was probably one of my most challenging parts of this new life that I was leading, because I knew I wasn't going to be seeing the kids as often anymore, and I was going to be only 50% of their life half the time. And so letting go was huge. But the biggest thing I had to really let go of was that I can't do this by myself. I had in my mind that I couldn't do it by myself. And then I had to realize that it wasn't by myself. I wasn't ever going to be by myself. I had people that were going to be around me, that were going to surround me, that were going to be there, and that I could do way more than I ever thought I could. And I had to keep telling myself, just like that engine that could, right? But I had to keep saying, I can do this. And I think part of it was, you don't realize sometimes it was actually, if I step into doing this on my own, will people still be there to support me? And that was really interesting, because I was so worried that if I got powerful, if I got stronger, that if I fell down, would they still be there? And I really was in that, stuck in that place of safety of, like, when I wasn't doing great, people were there. But when I was stepping up, I was really concerned they may not be there anymore. And so I had to be like, they will be there, and I can do this. I can do this on my own. So.
Wow. That's a lot. That is a lot, Nicole, because there's a lot in there saying, like, if I rise up, will people still be there? You really do find out how much you're supported. And I think so many women, again, I don't want to categorize for everybody, but I was raised by a very strong woman, and it was, if you want something done right, you got to do it yourself. I don't know if we can relate to that, but if you want something done right, do it yourself. That was what my mom ingrained in me. And there's a strength there. There's a grit to that for sure. But the grace is that allowing, and by allowing possibility of community and others, we truly rise higher and faster, and with so much more grace. It becomes so much more fun. Gosh, ladies, just everything you've shared tonight and your stories, you've been very vulnerable and open. And I want to say thank you, because I've asked you guys some very deep questions. And so thank you from the bottom of my heart for saying yes to the panel today, for making the time. It's 11:30 p.m. for Jacqui. She's like, I'm
going to go out and party.
I'm usually in my pajamas, but yeah, we can make this happen. So I really thank you. And I know time zones for everybody all over the world, wherever you're watching, from Australia, wherever you are, it's not the same time zone as it is for Nicole and I, where it's like kind of normal. So I just want to say thank you. And this has been an incredible 30 minutes. We can go deeper and deeper. I wrote notes, like things that I wanted to come back to. I didn't even get to them. The mask and the uniform. Gosh, that's a huge one. Just post-traumatic growth. We could go deeper into that. Motion unlocks emotion. I mean, it's beautiful. Everything that you guys were saying, community is a huge theme for you, Nicole, tonight that you shared. And it's intention, right? Choreographing the life you love is setting an intention for yourself, and an intention for more, and an intention for possibility. And so thank you all for being here, because you've already set that intention. You showed up, you saw the title, Choreograph Your Life, or maybe you saw the faces and you're like, I know those people, whatever it was that pulled you in, you're tuning in, and your presence matters, and we can feel it. And so, I'm seeing some of the comments pop up, and I just want to say thank you again. Whether you're in a season of clarity, like you're good, or you're just beginning to shift out of survival mode, which we've touched on here in these two different stories, your next step is valid. Your next step is valid. And you are allowed to design the life that reflects your values, your joy that matters, and your rhythm. And I always tell people, follow your joy, because like tonight, this was so much fun. And so therefore, come on now, like, who doesn't want to be a part of conversations like this? So before we wrap it up, again, 30 minutes was not enough. I'm going to go deeper into this next week in my masterclass, but I have no doubt that these two ladies can go deeper into this in their own uniquely beautiful, wonderful ways. So please connect with anybody that you feel, called to. And I cannot stop talking without thanking the production team and everybody that supported. So Debbie Prediger and Jenny Reyes. Oh, thank you. She's dropping the link. You're so sweet, Jenny. You guys really have supported me from just the idea, planting the seed. Hey, Ashley, why don't you create a panel? Who do you want? What do you want it to be? And I was like, boom, I know exactly who I want. These guys. And what do I want it to be? I want it to be something where whoever is listening hears a story of, you know, a process. It's not magic. It's not like, oh, they're lucky. Oh, they know what they wanted. No, every one of us in this world have been lost at some point and decided to take aligned action and notice, create, and expand their energy. That's my dance framework. But it's not by choice, it's not by chance, it's by choice. And that's, again, what Nicole and Jacqui both were talking about this week on their social medias too. So go check those out. But Debbie and Vinny and the support of the sponsorship of the Be Extraordinary Women's Network, which we have Shine Partners. How cool is that? How cool is that? Are all making this possible and streaming it to 7 different places and sharing it, commenting. And this is what community looks like that Nicole keeps mentioning. This is community. Carmen, thank you so much for sharing the AWARE framework. Elaine, Sarah, there was 2 Sarahs. You guys, it means the world. And Denise, look at that. There's names popping up and there's things I can't even see because we're in 7 places. Come on, people. That's amazing. But please keep sharing it, the message, and sharing the empowerment, because we all get to do this. We all get to dance through life. And I'm just incredibly grateful. So let's keep rising together, everybody. And Nicole and Jacqui, thank you both so, so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, so good.